Good evening, everyone, and welcome to WDW Opinion Live. Thank you so very much for being here. I hope your week has gotten off to a great start. My name is Conor Brown, and I am a lifelong Disney fan who's been traveling to the parks for nearly 20 years. I'm also a former Disney cast member, so I know what it takes to make the magic. My passion is simple. It's to help you plan for and daydream about your next perfect Disney World vacation. I do that by sharing my knowledge with you through my blog, podcast, these Facebook live streams, and so much more. You can head over to WDWopinion.com to find out all the latest things we've got going on. Again, thank you so very much for being here. I see that Shane has joined us. Shane, how you doing? It's been a couple weeks since we last saw you, so good to see you again. These comments are coming in a little weird. There, that's a little better. Sorry, the software I use just got an update, so it might be a little wonky. Austin from Orlando, he's here as well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope Orlando is nice and sunny up here in the mid-Atlantic, as it were. We're starting to pick up a little bit warmer, but it went back down to cold today. It is staying brighter later, which is always good. Listen, if you are tuning in, tell us where you're coming from. Let us know that you're here by sharing in the comments. And this is where the WDW Opinion community really gathers each week here on Tuesday nights. So if you have anything going on that you want to mention, share that in the comments. If you have any opinions or comments on the stories we're talking about, share that in the comments as well. Engage with each other. Build that community that we so desire. We're all Disney fans here, right? So be friendly in there. Looks like Shane's had a couple busy weeks, and looks like the high 60s today in Orlando. That ain't bad at all. Again, thanks for tuning in live. If you are watching on the replay, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, be sure to come every Tuesday night here on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Eastern so you can chat and interact with us in real time. Before we start, I do want to say hello to Sue. Hi, Sue from Maryland. Sue is my mommy, full disclosure. I do want to mention something really cool I got in the mail a couple days ago. Let me grab it real quick. So there's this great company called Happy Place Signs. They have an awesome Etsy store, and they reached out to me. They said they love the podcast, they love the blog. They wanted to send something to me to kind of show to my viewers to see if they would like it. So full disclosure, Happy Place Signs did send this to me for free, but I love the way it came out, so I think you should go check them out on Etsy. That's Happy Place Signs. You can see, whoa, let me grab it. You can see it right there. If it zooms in, perfect. Happy Place Signs. But here's what they sent me. Ready? Oh, baby. How's it coming? So if you don't recognize this, and the camera's got to come zoom in on it, this is like doing it in a mirror, so I'll probably look like an idiot. Well, I look more like an idiot than I typically do. So this sign is actually what is above Magic Kingdom train station as you enter there. Maddie, so good to have you from Orlando. Thank you very much for tuning in. So what it says is, here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. And that's the sign that's right above the train station as you enter Magic Kingdom. They also have one on the train station out in Disneyland. But the guys over at Happy Place Designs, they added in something else. If you can see, they added in like all of the lands. So you have Fantasyland, you have Liberty Square, you have Frontierland. I'm going to stop doing that because that's annoying. Adventureland, you have Main Street USA and Tomorrowland. And if you can look closely, it's in that font of that land. So this is wood, as you can probably hear, but it's etched on there. It's got a little mount that you can hang it on the back. They have a ton of other really cool signs. Again, they sent this to me for free, for full disclosure, but I'm probably gonna pick up a couple other ones. You can get it customizable as well. You can put your name on it. They have some hotel ones as well. So be sure to check them out. Happy Place Signs on Etsy. Thanks again, guys, for sending that over. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the news, shall we? Let me preface this by saying, yes, there was a lot of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge news that came out last week. There was kind of a quasi-media preview. We're not going to talk about that here, okay? Where we are going to talk about that is next week on the podcast. We're actually might even have a very special guest. You'll want to tune into that next week. Next Monday, we'll publish that show, and there you can get your full allotment of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge news. But the first news story we're going to talk about is the newest attraction coming to Disney World, and that is Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. So we don't know a whole lot about this attraction. Basically what we know is it's going to be a racing simulator style ride. It's going to be in Hollywood Studios, and the way to get there is you actually walk into almost the entrance for a Rock and Roller Coaster, but then you go over to the right where they used to have kind of like a I guess it was a special events area, a special events building. They did the villains dinner shows there, things like that in years past. That building has now become exclusive to Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. A couple days ago on the Disney Parks blogs, Larry the Cable Guy, who voices Mater in the Cars series from Pixar, he actually posted a little video. It was very cool. What do you guys think about Cars? I know some people like it, some people don't. Is it a movie you keep watching, or is it something that you don't really care that much about it? I'll tell you this much, in a company that's dominated by princesses and things like that, for little boys especially, this is a big deal. This attraction, which is opening in Hollywood Studios on March 31st, so just around the corner, is going to be kind of like a simulator, kind of like Star Tours from what we're hearing, but at a grander scale. The screen is going to be over 200 feet. It's going to be curved, so kind of think of like a Soarin' screen. We don't really know what you're going to view it as, if the seats are going to move, is it going to be more like a movie theater style seating. A lot is up in the air about this, but it seems to be pretty cool. And I'll tell you this much, for a park that's undergoing so much change, it needs these sorts of attractions. They can't all be e-ticket attractions, right? They can't be 9 Tower of Terrors in that park. Soon, most of those will be e-ticket attractions, and e-ticket just means top of the line, high speed, thrills, really in your face, or something like a classic, like an e-ticket is a Haunted Mansion kind of ride. That park is going to get a lot more people very, very soon once Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens. Shane seems to like it. He says that, you know, he's seen the movie almost 10 times, something like that. That's awesome. And Sue says the more attractions, the better. I'm right there with you, Sue, because what this is going to be is, whether it's good or whether it's bad, hopefully it is good, it's going to be something where all those new people coming to Hollywood Studios can go when they're trying to beat lines somewhere else. Estimates are saying that park's gonna get maybe even 10,000 new people coming in every single day than what it normally gets. Because of that, they need more attractions to entertain more people. This is going to be great too, because we assume there's not going to be a height restriction on it. Disney hasn't said one way or another, but for, you know, these movies, there's really nothing like that. And I say a movie because it's not really going to be a moving attraction. We know that much. The space there just isn't that big, so it's going to appeal to the little ones, kind of like, you know, the Pixar Junior area there does, or the Little Mermaid show. This, you know, theme park is undergoing incredible change. Austin Lee says it perfectly. Hollywood Studios making big moves, huge moves. They're just keep releasing all of these new attractions. You have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway coming online in the fall, followed soon thereafter by Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's going to be completely different come this time next year, Hollywood Studios, but these little attractions along the way are really going to add up. You know, a couple weeks ago we talked about how Tower of Terror is going down, is closing. It's not closing fully, one of the elevators will be closing, so that's going to mean longer lines. When they see the My Disney Experience app and you pull it up and you say, hey look, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy only has a 15-minute wait, something like that, you'll want to go over there and check it out if you're waiting in a super long line. I totally understand the need for this. We'll learn more as the time comes, but look out for that because Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is opening at the end of this month. Shane is saying Animal Kingdom needs more. You know, I think they kind of learned from that, Shane. I think they learned that when they opened Pandora, the World of Avatar, it was only 2 attractions, very long lines, a lot of more people didn't necessarily come to the park to see that, but it seemed like there were more people there. You know, opening just 2 big e-ticket attractions like that, it's conducive to bringing in more people, to entertaining more people, but you have to have other things for them to do. Hopefully Disney is learning from their experiences with that. That's why they're launching these kind of small other attractions around Hollywood Studios. It's probably a big reason why we're getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as well. All right, moving on to our second news story this week. It's an interesting one. New cabanas are coming to Yacht and Beach Club. So the ever popular Stormalong Bay is the most popular pool in all of Disney World. It's shared by the Yacht Club and the Beach Club. It's over, I think it's something like 2 acres or something like that. The entire pool is. It's a sand bottom. It's got a lazy river. It's gigantic. It's an awesome, awesome pool. I used to work at Yacht and Beach Club at the front desk, and I know there are families that would come back year after year just so they could stay there for Stormalong Bay. It's an incredibly popular pool just to relax at, and it's the reason why a lot of people stay at those 2 resorts. These new cabanas are coming in, and if you remember a couple years back, we got cabanas at places like It Seemed Weird. We got them in Tomorrowland. They have cabanas on Castaway Cay in the Caribbean. That's Disney's private island. So these aren't necessarily a new thing, but the fact that they're rolling them out at other, pools means that Disney is testing the waters for these. So between March and October, the cabanas will be $299 for a full day, $199 for a half day. Between October and February, a full day will cost $249 and a half day will be $149. So they drop it $50 in the winter months. That makes sense. There's a maximum of 6 people in these cabanas. What you get with this is you get a cast member who's fully devoted to you for the length of your stay there. You get 2 Chase lounge chairs. A side table will be inside the cabana, and then the exterior, so right outside the cabana, you'll get a love seat, 2 side chairs, and 2 side tables, so you can kind of go in for the shade, you can come out to catch some sun. You also get cocktail service, a mounted TV, complimentary sunscreen, which I would need a lot of, a fruit tray, a mini fridge with soda and water, towels, safe, charging outlets, stuff like that. So let me ask you, is this something you think is worth it? Would you pay $299 a day if you know you're gonna be here for the entire day at the pool? I'll say all those amenities are nice, but what this really is just a reserved place. That place can get very, very popular as it's shared by the Yacht Club, the Beach Club, 2 big resorts, but it's also shared by the Beach Club Villas, which is a part of the Beach Club Resort, but it's its own dedicated wing. There's a lot of rooms in there. At high capacity, there's a lot of people staying there. There's 1,000 rooms or something like that. So this pool can get crowded really, really soon in the day. And as I was saying, people stay there just for the pool. So if the pool's a priority, then space is going to come at a premium. Disney sees that premium, and they're putting a premium on that premium, meaning they're selling you these cabanas at that rate so that you can basically have that guaranteed space so that you don't have to worry about the service. Someone's taking care of you. You can lock things up and have the peace of mind to all go and enjoy the pool while your stuff is safe back at the cabana. Is this something that is just too outlandish you would kind of stay away from? Or when push come to shove, if you had 6 people, would you all go in on it, split it that way? Is it something that benefits you? let us know in the comments. I would say I would probably hold on this. I'm not really a pool guy. I know in the past when Disney's tested these cabanas before, they haven't lasted very long, so there's always going to be a demand for sure, but I think Disney has to understand what demand is versus what they can actually get out of it. You know, there's staffing an employee for these cabanas, so that's going to come at a cost. All these extra services, the building of the cabanas, the upkeep of the cabanas. If they can turn a profit, they'll turn a profit, but if they won't, you know, you can easily see these going away in a couple of months. We'll see how long they stay for, but for now, you can start booking them starting, I believe, in mid-March. So between March and October, remember, $299 for a full day, $199 for a half day, and then October through February, a full day is $249 and coming in at $149 for half of the day. Austin says, sounds fun if you have a good group. Couldn't agree with you more, Austin, but you could probably say that about almost anything at Disney World. Of course, here you have the benefit of if you do have a group and everyone's paying for it, you're able to split up the cost like that to kind of reserve your spot. Is this something where when you go to Disney World, you have to schedule in a pool day, or can you skip the pool and you just go parks, parks, parks? I've been reading a lot lately that people are going for longer just so they can have kind of a buffer day. So rather than doing 4 parks in 4 days, boom, 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 you know, back to back to back to back, they're doing 4 parks in 5 days. So they'll do 2 parks the first 2 days. They'll take a break in the middle day where they won't do anything. And then the next 2 days, they'll go back into the parks. It's the same price for tickets. All you're paying for is your food for that extra day and then your lodging for that extra day. But people are saying because there's so much to do, because everyone's packing so much in every single day, that after those first 2 days, you're just absolutely exhausted. So where you actually need that refresher, you need that middle day. This might be a good option for you if you do want to spend a little extra money and you want to stay by the pool for the full day to recharge. These cabanas might be a good option for you. So time will tell if they stick around, but for now you can start booking them. Head over to disneyworld.com. You can learn all about that, of course. All right, story number 3. It's our big one. Flower and Garden at Epcot starts tomorrow. So I'll say next to Food and Wine, this is definitely the second most popular Epcot festival. I asked, you know, in the post on this video, Flower and Garden starts tomorrow. What is your favorite Epcot festival? It seems like they go on throughout the year, and that's true. We have we have Flower and Garden right now. We have Food and Wine in the fall. We have Festival of the Holidays over the holidays, and then we also have Festival of the Arts in the beginning part of the year. Out of those 4, which one do you always mark on your calendar as, I have to go there? For me, it's still going to be Food and Wine. I think Flower and Garden is creeping up there because they have those additional things like the topiaries, they have music, but you know, it has the flowers that you can go and see. Food and Wine has a lot more booths, but Flower and Garden is definitely creeping up. Where Food and Wine might have 30 booths, this might have 15 to 20, so not as much. Still a lot, still very unique flavors, but those added elements of flowers and topiaries are something people absolutely love that Food and Wine doesn't bring you. Sue Brown is saying Flower and Garden. Sue, I know why you're saying that. She loves those flowers, those topiaries. They're absolutely incredible. And you know, that started as something just like that. There were no food booths. There were not even really any concert series. They were almost always on the weekend. Now those concert series are 7 days. Now those food booths are throughout the park. So that's kind of becoming a Food and Wine Junior. Shane says the holidays there are great. I completely agree with you, Shane. Those kind of holiday food booths are a unique take on things, and then also those decorations are great. Also, while we have it for now, well, we're not going to have it come this time in the holidays of this year. We're not going to see that holiday overlay on Illuminations, but I would assume that the next Epcot Nighttime Spectacular is going to get something holiday-wise there. All right, let's see, what does Flower and Garden offer us this year? So apart from, the new topiaries, which there are a couple of them, one that I have seen that looks awesome is actually Kermit the Frog. He's on a bicycle. He has some baguettes. He's in the France pavilion. It's perfect. The only thing is, I know French, in French cooking, frogs are a delicacy, so he might want to be wary of that. But other than that, the topiary looks very cool. Miss Piggy, of course, is also right beside him there in France. So that's a cool new topiary that's coming. Concert Rock Series is back this year. They kind of rebranded it. In years past, it used to be the Flower Power Concert Series, so it was a lot of bands from the 60s, from the Flower era. A few years ago, they did rebrand it to Garden Rocks, so it's a whole host of genres, a lot more akin to Food and Wine there. But the Garden Rock Concert Series welcomes bands like Wang Chung, Simple Plan, Rick Springfield, Sister Hazel, Lone Star, A Flock of Seagulls, the Marshall Tucker Band, and more. Out of all those bands, who would you like to see? Wang Chung is interesting. Dance Hall Days, hello. They're a new band that's going to be there. Simple Plan really appeals to people of my generation. But I mean, Rick Springfield, Lone Star, Flock of Seagulls, Marshall Tucker Band, all sorts of really cool genres represented there. Flower and Garden also has a couple unique tours. One of the unique tours is the Royal Garden Tea Tour. The Royal Tea Garden Tour, I should say. As the name implies, you could probably guess, it's about tea, and it's going to be taking place in the UK Pavilion. So you'll embark on a guided tour of an English tea garden where you'll enjoy a sample of tea and scones. So that's very cool. That's over by the Twinings, I can never say that right. Little flower, or the little tea garden they have set up there for Flower and Garden in the UK. So basically, if you go out of Rose and Crown, you take a left, almost at the very end, kind of where you can see Mary Poppins or Alice in Wonderland greeting. That's where that tea garden is, I believe. This might include backstage areas as well. I'm not sure, but I do know that people have said the sampling of tea and scones, which probably takes place in Rose and Crown, is a cool experience. Austin Lee is all about that Sister Hazel. Rock on, Austin. Rock on, my man. All right, but let's get to the real thing, the food, which is in an abundance this year. They've added several new booths in addition to some old favorites. So let's walk through some new booths. Let me know what all of these things here, what sounds good to you. What would you eat there? So Arbor at the Gardener's Terrace, take a culinary tour through a choice of delicacies nurtured into a full bloom in a taste sensation. Oh boy, that's a mouthful. I believe this is over in America, so you can get fried green tomatoes with blue crab fennel salad, a remoulade, and smoked paprika oil, smoked salmon stack with avocado, tomatoes, sour cream, caviar, and focaccia crostini. Only at Epcot, only at Disney World can you go and get a sampling in a little paper thing and go and eat on a trash can. And what are you eating? Caviar. How incredible is that? Crazy, right? They also have a mixed berry buttermilk cake served with apple cider sorbet. So this seems like a lot of, harvest ingredients, and that's a lot of what Flower and Garden is, a lot of harvest forward ingredients. The Flavorful Kitchen, hosted by Advent Health, is also new. Here you'll discover the many flavors of healthy cuisine in this delightful eatery featuring vegetables straight from the garden. A lot of these vegetables Epcot grows. They grow at Living with the Land, they grow at the Land Pavilion, they grow at Offsite. So a lot of this is fresh. There at Flavorful Kitchen, you can get citrus poached salmon with ancient grain salad, roasted vegetables, and citrus greens. That sounds good. From the garden, there's roasted beets, cashew cheese, and micro herbs with lemon oil dressing. And then the Mickey Tart peanut butter mousse with strawberry jam and boba pearls. These are all either gluten-free, vegetarian, or both. So I think what they're doing is taking, where they said like cashew cheese, so a lot of different ways to create cheese. For me, cheese isn't a thing to be messed with, but if you are a vegan, if you are a vegetarian, you gotta have a compromise, right? Another new food pavilion there is the Trowel and Trellis, hosted by Impossible Foods. The Impossible Burger was at the Edison a few months back. That's that all-natural burger, so no like artificial things, but also no meat. But people say it tastes exactly like it. So they have grilled street corn on the cob with savory garlic spread, farmhouse meatball with lentil bread, spinach, marinated vegetables, and herb dressing, and a chocolate pudding terrarium with avocado creme, matcha crumb, pomegranate, and baby herbs. So again, all of those are from Impossible. So it's basically, you know, it's not it is vegetarian. It's vegetarian and vegan. There's no dairy, there's no meat, stuff like that. You think you're eating that, but you're not. Interesting. I don't know if it's gonna taste like that. I'll have other people be the judge, and then I might try it. We'll hold for that. But then this one I'm really excited about. It's the Citrus Blossom. It's a new booth as well. Treat your taste buds to the subtleties of lemon, orange, and lime, turning delicious dishes even more delish. I love citrus. I love sour stuff as well. So what do they have? They have lobster tail with Meyer lemon emulsion and grilled lemon, tuna tataki with spicy yuzu glaze, mango avocado, and then they also have crispy citrus chicken with orange aioli and baby greens, and then they have a citrus shortcake, orange chiffon cake, lemon curd mandarins, whipped cream, and citrus crumble. Sue here is saying, I hear meat pies and chips are coming to the quick service location at Yorkshire County Fish Shops. I have not heard that, but that would be epic. I don't know if that's going to be a only flower and garden thing, but listen, I love my fish and chips from Yorkshire County Fish Shop. If they add in the meat pies, do they have to change the name to Yorkshire County Fish and Meat Shop? I doubt it. But if you don't know what a meat pie is, it's basically like a pot pie, chicken pot pie. But what I'm assuming here is it's going to be in that handheld form. So that's very cool as well. A couple old favorites coming back. Florida Fresh, so enjoy sweet and tangy treats from our Sunshine State Station nestled between France and Morocco. You can get carne guisado with black bean cake and cilantro lime sour cream, spicy blackened shrimp and cheddar cheese grits, and then a key lime tart. People love Florida Fresh for good reason. Also a fan favorite coming back, the Smokehouse Barbecue and Brews. There you get a pulled pork slider with coleslaw, shredded beef brisket with smoked potato chorizo fondue and green tomato relish. That is very good. I've had that before. Oh, I know, I've also had the beef brisket burnt ends with smoked pork belly slider with garlic sausage, cheddar fondue, and house-made pickles. I've had something like that. I don't think I've ever had it in slider form, so that might be new. That sounds awesome as well. So those two I think are two of my favorites, Florida Fresh and Smokehouse. In the past, I've loved those, but I think I'm going to have to try the Citrus Blossom as well. Got to pick up my annual pass magnet there too. So this year's Flower and Garden starts tomorrow, March 6th. So get over there if you're out in Orlando, and it goes through June 3rd. So that's going to be very cool, and it's going for a lot longer as well this year. It always adds a couple days on, but all the way through June. So if you have an early June, very, very early June trip planned, or a Memorial Day trip planned, that's going to be very cool. Awesome. All right, so let's move on to this week's article of the week from WDW Opinion. This is one I wrote back a couple months ago, but I think it's very important just to bring it up every once in a while. It's how to be present at Walt Disney World. You know, there's so much going on in Disney World. There's so much we have to get to in every single trip. It's hard to kind of not be present. What I mean by that, it's easy to run from one attraction to the next, one fast pass to the next, and you forget about the world around you. The reason Disney World is so great is because, yes, they have incredible attractions, but it goes beyond that. It goes into the land you're in, the area around you, the details that make up the park, and the people you interact with, both the cast members and your fellow guests. So I think being present at Disney World is so crucial to get the full picture, to get the most out of your experience. I go into some tips like you don't need to dig your head into your phone every time you're in line. Yes, it's a good time saver, but there's so many details around you in queue lines, in attractions that you never notice, but if you just look up from your phone, I think you will be able to get a greater appreciation and have a better understanding of the attractions once you find those little details. Other things about just taking some time to sit down, relax, and seeing the sights, watching the people go by. I absolutely love the people watching at Disney World. It is awesome. Of course, you see some interesting folks out there, but people watching is just part of the experience. Those little ways are great ways to be present at Disney World, and it kind of grounds you in your vacation. I know I always try to just take a little bit of time out of my almost daily occurrence whenever I go there. I'll find a bench, I'll just camp out, watch the world go by. It makes me breathe easier when I'm sitting there, watching the people go by, watching the Disney World go by, as it were. I like to fully be there. Being present, I think, just means, understanding that time is important. This trip is going to go quickly, but if you take a little moment out of your time to really experience it, really just take it all in, you'll get a greater appreciation for that. That's something I think we're losing out on. As Disney builds so many new attractions, so many new things to experience, that's great. But once we get from, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, when we shift our mentality to, it'd be nice to do that, but I can just kind of stroll throughout it, totally embrace the place that you're in. And I think that's something to be said about everywhere, not just Disney World. So there you go. That's a couple ways to be present. You can read more on that blog over at WDWOpinion.com, and let us know, how are you present at Disney World? What little things do you do? Is it sitting on a park bench? Is it looking up from your phone? Let us know how you're present at Walt Disney World. All right, the final piece of content from WDW Opinion for this week is our podcast, episode 32. It's a really, really cool one. I had on performer and YouTuber Roxy Dar. So if you don't know who she is a singer, performer, actress, and she's very well known for her Disney covers on YouTube. So let me ask this before I dive in. What is your favorite Disney song? Favorite Disney song, from movies, from attractions, whatever it is. Let us know what that is for you. I asked Roxy that too. She says hers is Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. She's been performing her whole life, but until a few years ago, someone said, why don't you just start posting your covers on YouTube? She did. She posted a couple Disney ones. Those took off. She kept posting more Disney ones. She's been to places like D23, the Ultimate Fan Expo, the Indie Disney Meet, which is a great fan put on fan event. So fans put it on for fans in Indianapolis, or in Noblesville, Indiana, I believe. She's performed there. She's got an interesting new project she's working on. It's a Peter Pan animated series, or animated feature, I should say, and a play. That's very cool. And then we also just talk about Disney, about her love of Disney. She's got some great videos I really dove into on that. If you haven't seen her before, head over to YouTube, just type in Roxy Dar, ROXYDARR, and you'll be able to see all of those performances that she's done. Let me tell you, sister's got some pipes. She can sing, and it was awesome having her on the show. Hopefully we'll have her back someday, but it was actually our first, I'm gonna say, non-friend guest. So people like Mr. Austin Lee here, yes, hello, congrats. He's been on the show before, but this was our first non-friend guest. So we thank her so very much, Roxy Dar, for being there. We also talked about a lost legend, so kind of like a former attraction that's no longer there. This week we talked about the Skyway in Magic Kingdom. So the Skyliner transportation system is a gondola system that's coming to Walt Disney World, and that's going to be a transportation system like the buses, like the boats, like the monorail. So that's actually going to get you from point A to point B. The Skyway was kind of like that but it was right in the middle of Magic Kingdom. It went from Fantasyland to Tomorrowland. Really interesting concept for a ride. It hasn't been there since 1999, I believe, 98, 99. We talked about it. We said, what the reason for it leaving was, why it didn't really last, and what that means for the Skyliner, why Disney is now getting back in that gondola sort of game. It's a very cool discussion we had. And then we also talked about some recent Disney news stories, like the Pixar, or the Play Pavilion, I should say, coming to Epcot and the new main entrance at Epcot. We talked about that on last week's live show as well. So head over to wdwopinion.com/episode 32. You can tune in there to that podcast episode. And if you haven't listened to the show, you're gonna want to listen to next week's show for sure. I talked about it at the top of the show. We're giving you the full everything we know so far about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We're probably gonna have a special guest on. Stay tuned for that. But be sure to go over to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and subscribe to it. By subscribing to it, that means once we upload that podcast episode, you'll get it right to your phone, right to your device, so you can listen to it as soon as we publish it. And also, if you have listened to the show and you like it, go ahead and comment, or go ahead and review it in iTunes, in Google Play. The reason I ask you to do that is I actually go in and I check those. So I'm looking for feedback. Tell me if you don't like something. Tell me if you do like something. But reading those reviews really helps me and Hank, my co-host, put on the best possible show for you, because that's what we're trying to do. And then on the flip side, those reviews also help people see the show as well. We want this community to grow. We want this WDW Opinion community to continue to expand. This is kind of like, our little Mickey Mouse Club, if it were. We want as many people to come in so we can all share our love of Disney with one another. Those reviews on that podcast really, really do help. So head over to iTunes, Google Play, wherever it is, leave us a review. It would mean the absolute world to me, for sure. Guys, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Go over to wdwopinion.com so you can learn about everything we're up to. There you can also sign up for our free weekly email newsletter. And if you sign up right now, we'll throw in a free Disney trip planning checklist. Disney trips are overwhelming. This checklist basically breaks it down date by date so that you know what to do when those dates come. It's a lifesaver. It can totally help you. Our gift to you so that you can stay up to date with all the latest content when you sign up for our newsletter. Additionally, check out the podcast. Like I said, search WDW Opinion wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you aren't watching live, if you are on the live stream, be sure to tune in every Tuesday night right here on Facebook Live. That's facebook.com/WDW Opinion. We're here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So come on in live, chat with us in real time. Austin, always great seeing you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Come join Austin next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Guys, thank you so very much for tuning in. Thanks for all of your comments. It means the world to me. It truly does. I do this for all of you guys. I want to share my opinions. I want to share my Disney knowledge with you. Any way I can help, please just reach out. Let me know if you have any questions, if I can help you plan for or daydream about your next perfect Disney vacation. Shoot me an email. Conor, that's CONOR @WDWopinion.com. I love getting those listener emails. Guys, I hope you have an awesome week, awesome rest of your week. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.